This season on Sister Wives.
Do you really want to still have a plural family? Sometimes I can't tell.
I'm in this bad place with Janelle, and Christine's gone. Don't even know what to do with Mary.
You know what, Robyn? Have him. We're all grown adults that don't need a father figure anymore.
So what partnership do we have?
This is not only me, Kody. Don't you dare point your finger at me.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, July 13th, 2023. Yesterday I was mentioning that I didn't know when season 18 is going to come out, and today we get a trailer from TLC, and they're actually going to be starting it about 21 days early. Last year it actually premiered on September 11th, Sister Wives. This year it's going to be out on August 20th, and this is going to be a messy season. Now, I want to caveat this simply by saying we all know that reality TV is a little bit scripted and dramatized, and we see a lot of things that may or may not actually be true, right? So remember all of that when I'm talking about this today, because Kody definitely puts the dramatics on for this show. But we're going to see Janelle and Kody have a huge fight. I don't know if this is the actual day they have the fight or if it's a reenactment, because sometimes they do that. And Kody and Janelle and the split. And I'm going to do that in this video. In the next video, we're going to talk about the situation between Mary, Robyn, and Kody, because that in and of itself is a mess. This is going to be the 18th season of Sister Wives, and we are going to see Kody Brown and his wives basically have their family blow up. Let's dive into today's topic. Before we do, can you please do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, please subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed by clicking on the subscribe button down below. Click on the bell so you can get notified of any time I go live and new content loads. Make sure to leave a comment if you have something to say, and share this video with your friends. Okay, so I was actually recently hearing a rumor that Janelle Brown was going to be coming into her own in season 18. Like, fans were going to see a brand new side of her, and as she was starting to figure out life and what she wanted for herself. The rumor is that through that, she would gain her own independence and make the decision to leave Kody. And fans would see a side of her they hadn't seen before. So last year, we saw sort of beginning of that, where Janelle was starting to go back and forth with Kody, and Kody was mad at Janelle for taking Christine's side. This season, Christine has left, and now it's Kody and Janelle sparring with numerous heated arguments. The first part is her basically confronting Kody about she's not clear if he even wants to do polygamy or wants to be in a plural marriage.
Do you really want to still have a plural family? Sometimes I can't tell.
I'm in this bad place with Janelle, and Christine's gone. Don't even know what to do with Mary.
I'm growing and I need something different. Like, I don't want to be married anymore.
By now, most of us know that a lot of these scenes are staged and they know ahead of time what they're going to talk about. But they do their best to show us in real time what is going on. And the last few seasons, we've seen them be a lot more honest, simply because they had to do their own filming. And now we're at a place where it appears as though they have crew that is actually filming them. So at a meeting, a lunch of some sort, Janelle and Kody are talking about whether or not Kody wants to be in a plural marriage anymore. Cuts to a clip of Kody saying that he's in a bad place. Christine has just left him. He's in a bad place with Janelle. He doesn't know what to do with Mary. Cut to another scene with Janelle and Christine of her telling Christine that she's growing and changing and doesn't know if she wants to be married anymore. You know, what I think is interesting about this is that whatever we see on the show, we don't really know the whole story. But what I get the sense of is that Kody checked out of this plural situation when he met Robyn. And we've talked about that a lot. And I think the wives finally just got to a place where they couldn't be on his part of his charade anymore because he wasn't giving them anything that they needed. And he's spending all of his time with Robyn. And he's spending all of his time with Robyn because Robyn lets him treat her like a doormat, and she respects him. And she gives him all kinds of whatever he wants, probably in the bedroom. So Janelle actually coming into her own and starting to make these decisions is interesting. Now, some of the arguments get pretty explosive, and it's interesting to see sort of how this all develops, because in the tell-all, we heard her say that they separated and they didn't talk for months after they had this blowout fight around Christmas of 2021. And they finally connected months later, and then they decided not to be together. So I don't know in what order this is all going to happen.
You know what, Robyn? Have him. We're all grown adults that don't need a father figure anymore.
You can't look back with a sense of humor? What a waste.
Well, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing here. I'm not laughing. I haven't been laughing with her leaving.
It appears as though we're going to start to hear from some of the kids that Kody is now estranged from, including Garrison, Gabriel, and Gwendolyn, because that clip shows them all together. It appears that they're at Janelle's place in Flagstaff discussing, again, this is a very short clip, the demise of their relationship. And it almost sounds like the kids have resigned themselves to the fact that, you know what, we don't need you anymore, Dad. Clearly you don't want to be around us. Clearly you've picked Robyn, and letting Robyn win. Now, I don't know if it's Robyn winning or if it's Kody just retreating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Robyn ever wanted to be a polygamous wife or a plural wife. But at the same time, like, I think Kody made his decision based upon who was giving him what he wanted and who was giving him what he needed. And Robyn was there to kiss his butt. So the kids probably feel like he's picking Robyn, Robyn wins. You know what I'm saying? I'll be interested to see how they respond to Kody and whether or not Kody becomes the target of the kids. Like, they like to pin things on Robyn a lot, and Kody's is equally to blame in my opinion, but to actually hear them say, like, you know what, you win, we don't need a father figure anymore, that to me tells me that things in the relationships with Janelle and her boys and Kody are not good. And they're apparently still not good. They're apparently still very hostile. It's also going to be interesting to see a different side of Christine, because she won't be with Kody anymore. She's left now, and so she's like established life in Utah. And it'll be interesting to see the dynamic of them trying to co-parent with Kody not being able to control her anymore. And obviously Kody is not responding well to the split, not responding to the split at all. And he doesn't have a sense of humor really about anything. I don't think narcissists can ever really laugh at themselves about anything or take criticism, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, it'll be definitely for sure interesting to see how Christine plays into this. So far, we don't really see like a storyline for Christine in this season.
So what partnership do we have?
This is not only me, Kody. Don't you dare point your finger at me.
That part where Janelle actually talks back to him, I was like, go girl. Like, finally we're seeing her not take his behavior. We have watched Kody for seasons yell and scream and be really condescending and cruel and rude to the women, and to actually see Janelle stand up for herself and tell him to like quit and stop and like not point fingers at her. You know what the argument probably is. Kody's probably yelling at her about how he doesn't feel like they're making decisions together and she's just too independent and they don't have a partnership. When the truth is, Kody spent all that time and all that energy, spending all of his resources helping out Robyn with Robyn's kids, being in Robyn's life, and he's never been able to establish a partnership with Janelle. So what was Janelle supposed to do, Kody? Was she actually just supposed to like wait for you? It reminds me of last season when he was yelling and yammering about the whole partnership thing. So it seems like he's going to continue to try to drive into her that their problems actually stem from her independence and her not allowing him to make decisions. but he's not around. So how in the hell would you expect her to function if he's not going to help her? You know what I'm saying? Like, this very much feels like we're at the very, I don't know, like, it feels like we're like going back from the tell-all. So I feel like the tell-all was filmed in the fall of 2022, and we have to all go back and watch it as if like we don't know the outcome. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it hard because in the one breath you're like, yes, Janelle, yes. But then you already know she's left, right? So it's like you're kind of waiting to see like what's going to be the climax here. And we're going to get a peek at what that fight was. And that fight looks like it's Kody literally and her screaming at each other.
Everybody's angry.
Everybody's angry, right?
I worked so hard to do what was right. And when you lose that, well, I should just be the devil I think I am now.
No,
Kody is going to play this narrative as though he's done everything that he can. He followed the rules. He did everything he was supposed to. So in true egotistical, narcissistic, and just arrogance, he's like, I did everything that I was supposed to do. And so now that it didn't work, I'm just going to be the devil that I think I am now. So he's going to use that as his reason and his rationalization for why he treats and mistreats people. He's going to use that as, well, they all, I did everything I was supposed to do and they're the ones that screwed up. So now this is my invitation to be a jerk, right? I get to act like this because they didn't follow the rules. I was doing what I was supposed to do. I was flawless. I was perfect. It's them. They're the ones that didn't want to follow the patriarchy. They didn't respect my authority. They didn't let me be the head of the house. When the truth is that Janelle and Christine never wanted patriarchy. They wanted to be equals. And Mary and Robyn wanted the patriarchy and wanted Kody to be the leader. And when you have two women that want independence and they just want the autonomy, and then you have a guy that's been sort of loosely pretending to be a patriarch and then suddenly become like forceful and just jerk, what do you expect them to do, Kody? And I just love how he's so dramatic here, and he's like, I'm the devil, like as though like he's playing a character, like a caricature. On his cameo, he said that he doesn't actually look at the show as real. He looks at it as sort of like a caricature of his life. Like what happens is real, but he doesn't look at it as like him really because it's so dramatized. But I think Kody knows after all of these seasons what gives drama. And so I think he uses sound bites like this to sort of villainize himself, but at the same time justify it. And it's just so gross. I'm actually so excited to watch this season.
No, you make this
Listen to me.
excuse forever, but
Shut your mouth and let me talk to you for a minute.
No.
Stay
I'm
and
done
talk.
listening to you.
Okay, so we're done.
Goodbye.
You.
This must be the fight that Janelle was referencing in the tell-all, where she's like, we had this big explosive fight right before Christmas or during the holidays of 2021, and then we didn't talk for months. And I'm like, okay, so they're fighting about whatever, and Kody wasn't wanting to hear just himself talk. Like, Kody doesn't care what Janelle says, because we all know by now that Kody just loves to yell, scream, and make his presence known. And just, he's the kind of guy that like he's already got his mind made up, in my opinion, of what he thinks about a situation, that it really doesn't matter what Janelle would say at this point. But the fact that you see Janelle actually fighting him back and being like, will you just shut your effing mouth, she said, and listen to me. And he's so at a point where he's like, no, I'm done listening to you. And I'm like, wait a minute, where was she talking, Kody? So the minute she wants to explain herself, then he's walking out the door and he's running away, and he's slamming the door, and then she says, F you? Dang. Remember how Suki was asking Robyn about how the women always say that he walks away and he runs off? That's exactly what Kody does. If he has to actually deal with something and get confronted about his behavior, instead of listening and like taking in the feedback, he just storms off, because that's how he can control the situation. He can ice them out. He can control a situation by not listening to them, by leaving it open-ended, by trying to make them feel like, well, if you're not going to listen to me, then I will leave, which in turn, if someone knows that that's going to be the outcome, it's going to make them walk on eggshells and just placate him, right? So in the past, they might not blow up at him because they know if blowing up at him is going to mean he's going to run off. They might just let him yell and scream, knowing full well that if they were to yell back, he's going to react, right? And he's going to do that. That's how he can control them. So if he can't control them through the yelling and screaming, then the other way he's going to control the situation is by leaving it. And now you're seeing Janelle, as we saw at the last episode of season 17, where she also fought with him and told him to F off, and they were screaming outside of Robyn's house. We're seeing her tell him, like, no, shut up. Listen to me. It's also telling that when he's trying to leave and she tries to grab him to stay, he like literally like aggressively like sort of smacks or like almost like punches the air to like get her and like shake her off of him. And it's like the first time we see almost like a peek at under the layer of how things could potentially get physical in this type of relationship because of how hostile and aggressive he was. All she was trying to do was get him to stay, and he's like, you know, punching her off and then slamming the door. Like, that's a very violent reaction. So when last season, when we watched Kody scream and yell at Christine about her leaving and scream and cry about him, the knife in the kidney and how the other wives just sat there like stoically. I understand why they were doing that, because they knew, I'm sure, if they responded that he would act like that. And he ultimately did act like that. He did. He literally just stormed off in that situation. So he storms off because that's how he controls, in my opinion. What I think is missing from this trailer is we don't see anything of Christine, really. We see bits and pieces of her, but it really looks like this season is focusing heavily on their specific, his splits with Janelle and with Mary, because those two storylines are the biggest pieces of this season trailer. Unless we get a mid-season trailer and we see some other sides where we actually see Christine not in a supporting role, I don't know what kind of place she fits into this, other than I'm in Utah now, and we don't see David at all in this. So I don't know at what point we meet David, and if we meet him at all, because at this point, when this season starts, we're going to be at Christmas 2021, right? Which is almost 2 years ago. And I don't think David enters the picture until 2022. So does that mean David doesn't show up until season 19? This is wild, you guys. I'm going to have another video coming up, which is going to be all about Mary's side, which I've been doing some digging, and I have some details to provide you about that. So tell me what your thoughts are about this. Are you excited or are you lukewarm? In the comments below. Bye, guys.